Hey guys, this is Zubin Pratap. Welcome to today's Hard Truth video. This is a series of videos, and I should have introduced this in one of the other videos, but of course I did not because I forgot. But if you get to this one, it's good because there are a whole bunch of videos very similar to this, just shot on my phone. I'm here on having a small break just before the new year starts and spending some quiet time with the family, and I just wanted to share a bunch of thoughts that I got on the basis of going through my journal from the last year and writing my plans for this year. And I really wanted to share. It's been a big year for me because I've coached a number of students on career change, and in particular on career change to become coders and you know, enter the tech world. So what I really want to do is talk to you today about a hard truth, another one of them. So you'll see a bunch of these hard truth videos. I may not always call them hard truths, but you'll see by the way the picture looks that you'll know it's a hard truth video. Today's hard truth is that you will get rejected from the majority of jobs that you apply for. Okay, and there, I just said it, went straight to it. And that's just a reality of it. Look, you need to really understand how this works, okay? I've had 3 careers in 4 different countries, and I have been rejected from far more jobs than I got accepted from, all right? I have rejected a few jobs myself. I have got offers and rejected them, but they were not anywhere near as many as the offers I never even got, okay? And the offers I never even got, as big a number as that is, it's a small number compared to the number of companies I never even heard back from. Okay, this is over a 20-year career, or 3 careers, 20 years, 18 years, 4 different countries, right? So that's just the hard nature of it. The best record I have had was 100% offer rate, and that is the first 4 jobs that I applied to after I taught myself to code. This is after 4 years of struggle. I very intentionally followed a strategy based on the learnings from the previous, at that time I'd been working for about 15, 16 years. From the previous 15 years of experience, I took all the learnings from those 3 industries and those 4 countries, and I applied that to applying for my first 4 jobs because I was changing career. I taught myself to code when I was 37. I was about 38 or 39 when I was changing careers, and I was applying for my first 4 roles as a dev, a junior dev, I guess, even though I was 38 years old or whatever. First 4 roles, and I applied for 4 very intentionally. I did a lot of very careful strategic thinking and planning and research around that, and approached it knowing everything I know about the job market. No matter which country you are in, there's a structure to this whole thing. And I got all 4. Now, after that, I did apply for a number of companies in the US, got several of the big tech companies, didn't get some of the big tech companies, but I got into Google, which is where I am at the moment as an engineer. So I want to tell you that even though I did get all 4 and I followed a system, there's no reason why you can't do that as well, right? Now, it's possible that I got a bit lucky. There's a bit of luck in everything in life. That's just how it is. We all know this. We're grown-ups. But there is a system that you need to follow to optimize for this. And it really helps when you know that that chances are, the odds are, you're going to get rejected from any single job that you apply for. So when I approached it, I realized, taken on a per job basis, given that there are usually dozens if not hundreds of applicants for a single job, the odds of me succeeding in a single job are very small. Very small, okay? I assessed it as usually less than 5% that I would succeed in a job that I applied for. But I realized that if I chose the right kind of jobs, did the right preparation well in advance, and I'm talking months in advance, and I'm not talking about data structures and algorithms and coding interview preparation. Everyone's so obsessed with that. But look, the real challenge, the really hard bit is actually getting the interview, okay? Then you worry about performing in the interview, or rather you need to worry about all these things in parallel. But everyone just focuses on doing well in data structures and algorithms, and most jobs, even coding jobs, most coding jobs don't require you to know advanced data structures and algorithms. So for your first job, I wouldn't spend the time doing that, because you're just optimizing for something you don't need for your first job, and that's going to cost you 6 months of time and cause you to be depressed. So for my first, those 4 jobs that I talked about that I got, I didn't prepare any data structures and algorithms. I did some basic data structures and algorithms, like how do you reverse a string, or how do you reverse an array, like really low level, basic, easy ones, right? I didn't do any of the fancy other ones. When I was doing lead code and algo expert, that was only in preparation for the US big tech companies. By that time I already had a year of experience behind me, and that was the first time I'd even looked at advanced computer science topics. So what I'm trying to say here is, the reason I got those four roles, I reckon, is because I'd done a whole lot of very specific preparation based on my experience, what I bring to the table, and what those companies were looking for. And keep in mind, for all 4 roles, the feedback that I got was I was the least experienced candidate. Obviously, I had 0 years of professional experience, right? I was changing career. I was moving to a new industry. And this is why I keep saying that changing career is much more than just learning the skills. Much more, okay? Because so many people learn the skills, don't get interviews. If they get the interviews, they don't succeed in the interviews, and this goes on. But it really helps when you understand that the name of the game is not being so good that you get an interview, because you can't control that, guys. You just can't. On the day, you may perform badly, no matter how well you perform or prepare, okay? Or you may perform really well, but it just happened to be that somebody else was a better fit. I've seen this happen so many times. In fact, it's highly variable. Interview performance, anyone who's been in the industry, and I've been on the hiring side in all the industries that I've been in, including in coding, I've done interviews, right? I got to tell you, it's not a perfect science. It's an imperfect science. We try to make it as perfect as we can, but we're far from it. And the interviewing system is fundamentally, people who are familiar with it know that it's quite flawed, okay? So don't take it personally if you don't get it. It's not a big deal. Maybe you will know if you perform badly. But if you performed well and you didn't get it, disappointment is natural, but distance yourself from the process, because the odds for any one job are low. That's just how it is. Assume you have less than a 5 or even 4% chance of getting any one job. But if you can generate 5, 6, 7, 10 interviews at a time and run that in parallel, and then your odds of getting your first job are high, okay? So accept and acknowledge that the odds of you getting rejected are much higher than the odds of you getting accepted, which means that you have to be very deliberate about the strategy that you follow to get the kind of roles, get the kind of interviews that you are likely to succeed in. It's not enough to just get interviews. You need to get the kinds of interviews where you can succeed. And in order to do well in the interview, it's not just the algorithms and data structures, guys. That's one part of the interview process, okay? A lot of companies are now shifting the emphasis to, do you have good leadership skills? Do you have good personality attributes? Because especially some of the bigger tech companies, emphasize this a lot. And definitely the smaller startups. The mid-level companies, it's hard to tell. But the startups and the top end of town, they're always emphasizing for the kind of person you are and not just the kind of skills you have. Because most candidates who come there, who get into the second or the third interview stage, have the technical skills. From there on, a lot of it is who you are, how you are to work with, and so on and so forth. So definitely optimize and understand what you bring. And I think career changers have a big advantage. In fact, I coach people who want to change career, and I'm constantly showing them all the advantages they have, how they can actually use those advantages in their new career, especially if it's a coding related role. But really, it's any role, you can do it. But you have to understand and you have to learn from people who've done it before, right? So there's no point learning how to change careers from someone, or being coached into having a tech career or whatever it is, by someone who's never changed careers. It's a different thing if you're a computer science graduate and you want to be coached on a tech career, then absolutely go to someone who's done that, who has a computer science background, who has been an engineer for many years, and that's all they know, and they're good at that. Great, perfect, that's what you need. But if you are not a technical person, or if you're not in an engineering related field, software engineering related field, and you don't really know how to code, and your current career is the one that you're trying to leave behind you and you're trying to move to a new career, guys, learn from people who've actually switched careers. Because learning to code, anyone can do that. You literally read a book. But learning how to change careers is much harder, okay? This is why it's really important to understand that no matter which career you're in, no matter which field you're in, the odds are that you're going to be rejected. Completely internalize and accept that. Don't assume you will, but assume that the odds are against you. Don't assume that you're going to fail. Assume that you have a 5% chance of success, okay? And that's all you need. You need a 5% chance of success, all right? So, I mean, the example I give for this is that if you're flipping a coin if you flip the coin once, there's a 50-50 chance that you'll get what you asked for, heads or tails, right? But if you flip it 50 times, it's almost guaranteed that you'll get one of the things that you've asked for at least once, because you need only once. You need that first job, guys. The first job in tech is the hardest thing to get, and the first one that you get is the one that the odds are really stacked against you. Well, okay, to be honest, every job you apply for, the odds are stacked against you, but the first one's the hardest because you have no experience, no background, no way of knowing how to actually put your foot forward and even get invited to the interview, right? Once you have a couple of jobs under your belt, your first 2 or 3 jobs are done, you will get invited to more interviews. You may not succeed in them, and that's what I mean by the odds of success continue to be low, but at least you're not having that challenge of finding the first few interviews. So really think very hard about how you find the first few interviews, get the help you need, get the guidance you need, and accept that while the odds are low, over time and if you consistently apply a system that works, a blueprint that produces interviews and gives you the best chance of winning in those interviews, you will absolutely get the job. No question about it. Okay, good luck. Let me know in the comments if you agree, disagree, whether you'd like to know more. I love engaging in the comments. Like and subscribe so that you can find out more about these hard truth videos and the other videos I post on my channel as and when I bring them out. And we'll talk soon. All right, cheers.